DodgeCast coming to you fresh every Monday. Ooh, DodgeCast better than an ice cream sundae.
Well, hold on. Let me start that again. Welcome back to the DodgeCast. It did that right error thing. I didn't know if it was gonna. We have a very special guest today, Pete Neconie. So, can you kind of fill me in on what your position is with the fair?
The fair? Oh,
Yeah.
sure. My position.
You'll have to hold your mic kind of right up here.
kind of right up to the face.
There you go. Yeah.
My position here is the president for the American Indian Exposition.
Okay.
So I was asked back in March if I could kind of be nominated for it because everybody's busy, you know.
Yeah.
Their work, their family life. So I've been home the last 3 years taking care of my folks. So I kind of stepped up to the plate to said, you know, I got free time during the week to kind of do some stuff. So they brought me in, got voted in, and basically it's just trying to get everything organized. You know? So it's a lot of work.
When did this whole process start?
It actually should have started maybe a month or so after last year.
Okay.
But it didn't start till March of this year when the previous president and vice president stepped down. So about mid-March is when everything started.
Yeah.
That's when we kind of got people together, our vice president, our, treasurer, secretary. Some of them are already in place from last year. So that was helpful. And then after that, it's just been on the go, trying to put ideas out there, what we can do, how we're going to do it, which way we have to reach out to, what either go for corporate sponsorship, tribal sponsorship, we have to look at all that. So we just kind of had our discussions amongst each other and tried to work with our directors the best we could as to what they're doing, what they're going to do, how we put our sponsorship letters together so that we can send those out to the tribes to see how they want to help. You don't ever really tell somebody this is what you need to do. You always give them the options to decide what they would like to do and how they would like to help sponsor the expo.
Well, see, I was just at Comanche Fair last week, and I was talking about on the podcast last week how the reason I love Comanche Fair is it's always consistent. There's always, always know what's going to happen. You always know when it is. Yeah. But then again, they don't have different tribes involved. I think the American Indian Exposition here in Anadarko is a little bit more complicated because you have more hands in the pot, And so, but I'm glad that it's as far as I know, you're having a carnival, right?
Correct. We got the carnival coming this year. And they've been really good to work with.
Oh, yeah?
Because the carnivals, I know that COVID hit those 3 years, but they were in contact with all their connections.
Yeah.
So that the moment this advisory or, the precautions all lifted, they were already working with all their past current companies that wanted to have a carnival. But that's not what happened here.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the line, it didn't get communicated with them. So they had contracts. Their contracts are set from 2 to 5 years.
Oh, wow.
So, of course, by not keeping in contact with them, they were like, okay, well, they're not doing anything. They moved on.
Yeah.
So we were lucky to use one of the old companies, and they were like, well, this is the time that we can provide one for you, which ended up being in October. Yeah. The Halloween time.
So is that kind of the reason why the date got moved back to October?
Yeah. Yeah. Because they already had contracts set for those months, and they looked at every option as to where they could pull carnival events from to try to make it happen. And there's just no way. They're booked like almost every weekend.
I know a lot of people are excited about it, though. Like, I am, at least. I know you are. Our buddy Dixon Palmer, I'm sure you know him. He's excited about it. Cooler weather, for one, cooler weather. And, Halloween time, it's always fun. You guys have a lot of Halloween events coming up, too, with the fair.
Yep.
But yeah, so what's something new that's happening at the fair this year?
Well, I don't know what they've done in the past. Again,
Yeah.
like I said, I've been home taking care of my folks, so I only got to go out there to help sing last year. I wasn't a part of it, so I know that everybody is working hard. Like this year, there's a couple things, like the trunk or treat.
Yeah.
That's going to be October 31st from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Carnival Midway. So that's just right there behind the kind of like the grandstand area.
Okay.
So I know they closed off all those old areas where people used to be able to cook and do things. So
Yeah.
that's where we're going to have the kind of trunk or treat right there.
Yeah.
That's something we're doing that they didn't, of course, back then it was in August, so there wasn't really much you could do, and you were competing with other events. But this year, during this time, that's where we're going to have it, our trunk or treat. And I think we've got like maybe 7 different families.
Really? Nice.
And our director for that, Donnie Grace, she was kind of asked to put that in charge, so she kind of got her stuff together and got things so that people could just come and be a part of it. And man, I'm gonna be there, she's gonna be there, Misty Boyney, her family, and then the Caddos are gonna be there. We're gonna have other families that are all wanting to participate.
Yeah.
So it's like that's how it should work. They hear it, they want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
And that's how it used to be. Those families all used to come together and want to be a part of things, and it hasn't happened. Of course, COVID 3 years shut everything down. That was a big bummer to everybody.
Yeah.
But we have the trunk or treat going on. Also, too, we're gonna have a masquerade contest party. Out there at the grounds.
Oh, nice.
On that evening. So that night, we're gonna be busy. We're gonna be trunk or treat from 5 to 7, and then from 7 on, we're gonna have the powwow portion. And then at that same time, we've added a masquerade costume contest for, what does that say? I think that's all ages.
Yeah.
So we're bringing that back. I know that a long time ago, people forget that the word expo, exposition, what that word means.
Yeah.
And I see that, that was everybody. All those cattle farmers used to bring their cows, their horses. You used to have a farmer's market. All these things. I've been asking some of these elders around town what this meant back then.
Yeah.
That's what they've been telling me. People have forgotten what exposition or expo means.
Yeah.
And that means everybody kind of having a part of displaying their different events. So that's what we're trying to do. Again, we're only elected for a certain time. This year we brought back the elections for all the leadership positions. So next year it won't be me, because we have different ones running for these positions. Again, like I said, I stepped in to just try to do the best I could.
Yeah.
But we have those. We asked Dixon Palmer and his family if they wouldn't mind doing the spear and shield dance.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Doing the eagle dance. Then we have a couple folks that are going to come in and do the hoop dance. On Friday and Saturday.
Nice.
So those are some of the things that we brought back. I know we were trying to get Aztecs and some other things brought back in there, because that's what people wanted to see.
Oh, dude, we talk about that all the time. And I'm glad that you're going around and talking to people and be like, hey, what did this mean to you back then? Like, what was the expo? Because, people always talk about, back then in Anadarko, like, they talk about the expo, they talk about Indian City. Those are the two things everybody always talks about with Anadarko. Yeah. And I'm glad that you're going around and getting people's feedback of, what do you want to see at the fair? Because, like, I think a lot of people were just making decisions, and being like, this is what the expo is. And it's like, no, let's ask the people what they want. And that's really exciting. Like, so you weren't able to get the Aztecs though? No. That dude, I'm telling you, when you saw those folks, you're like, dude, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, there's I grew up here at a very young age, and I remember all the things that used to go on, because my grandma was one that was very, when she set up camp, she made sure she knew what us kids were going to go do.
Yeah.
And so we moved away on the East Coast, and let me tell you, there's some good different cultures that, I wanted to bring back.
Yeah.
But, this is it's about budget too.
Yeah.
If you have the budget, fine. If you don't have the budget, then you have to make do with what you have. And again, all these tribes, you know, they have a budget. Sometimes when you go to ask them, they're at the end of their budget, and then you just have to wait till the next time for their budgeting to come in. That's when you can try to get them again. But you know, it's a lot of running around.
Yeah,
but
I can imagine.
There's a group out on the East Coast, and I'm sure they're down from South America, called the Scissor Dancers. And man, these guys, it's almost like those Russian guys when they dance.
Oh,
they
yeah,
down.
yeah.
But these guys are Peruvian. And they have a hat. They dance with scissors. And I mean, you want to see guys bounce from the ground about maybe almost 5 feet in the air.
Damn.
These guys, they're moving.
Yeah.
It's almost like an aerobic exercise, like fancy dancing. They're going. But most people have never seen that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something I was trying to get out here. So again, we could exposition expo.
Yeah.
Let them have some time to.
Well, I think that's like a big part of what the expo has always been, though, is like, you know, you see all the different tribes come together and do different things. It's not just like, you know, you're wearing a Crow Fair shirt right now. It's not just the Crows. It's not just Comanches. You know, it's everybody coming together to show like what being indigenous is all about. You know, and you know, so I that's why I've always appreciated our fair, because it was always a little different than what everybody else, because you know, like different tribes have their own fairs and all that stuff.
Yes.
And you know, ours is kind of, it's not just the Kiowas, it's not just the Comanches, it's not just the Delawares, it's like everybody's coming together. And that's why I said it's probably more complicated to get something like that put together, just because you're like, you know, I mean, just doing this podcast, like having to talk to people and you know, get that, it's all, you know, I hardly want to deal with it sometimes, but you know, I can't imagine having to go and be like, well, I've got 80 people I've got to get together for this thing, and hopefully everything works out, you know, hopefully everybody shows up on time. And
because it's going to be busy. You know, now that we have the carnival, we're going to have the trunk or treat.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things that, you know, last year I saw that were spread all out through Anadarko, and that's the hardest thing, because then you're going from one spot in town all the way to a completely different spot in town, to whereas all this used to be out there at the grounds. You know, and that's something I've tried to do and keep where everything is out there. You know, that way we're going to one spot, we can go watch, you know, the Kiowas do something, we can watch the Apaches do something, we can watch the Delawares, the Caddos, you know, because you're right, there's 14 of the tribes that are part of this. And I think over the years they were left out, or it was just minimal programs that stepped in, but didn't really get to contact their tribes and stuff. And see, that's what I did this year. I went and sent out letters to the tribes that were a part of this, and said, hey, the expo's coming up, you know, do you guys want to be involved in it? Here's sponsorship letters. You know, you're never gonna know unless you try. You know, and that's the thing. You got to get out there and try. If they tell you no, at least you tried. At least you brought them aware of what's coming. You know, and that's something I've always been taught from my mom and dad, is you're never going to know unless you try, son. And that's what I did. And, you know, a lot of people are like, we didn't realize the expo was really happening. You know, so I'm doing the best I can by getting out there and promoting it.
The word has been getting out already. Like, you know, there was already kind of rumors circulating earlier in the year. And then, you know, we saw the official Facebook post, and I know people were excited about that. I mean, we posted about it, and it got like probably the most shares we've ever gotten. And like, it wasn't even our content, you know. It's like, but yeah, we've been trying to promote it as much as we can, just because, like I said, I'm a fan of it. You know, I want it to come back. I want something here that I can take my kids to. You know, and I want them to be able to experience all the good things that I got to experience growing up. You know, because like that was one of the, you know, right before school too. It used to be right before school, and you used to like wear your good school clothes, your new ones. You know, better not come home dirty either. Shoot, get your new shoes dirty.
And then I think, you know, with the timing of this, I think that's going to be their fall break time too. So
maybe.
That might be close to it, and then, you know, that kind of gives them that time off or whatever they might have to do. At least it gives them something, around that Halloween time
Yeah.
as well. That, again, like I said, back in August, it was hot.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was.
That's been the biggest
God, it's
complaint.
been one of the. It was so hot this summer. Like it was one of the hottest summers I can remember for sure. But like,
Yes.
so that's why I'm glad, because like I hate the heat so much, and I'm so glad that like I'm gonna be able to walk around and not be drenched in sweat this year. Like, it's gonna be so nice. So have you heard anything about this being like a regular thing during this time of year, or is that just a fluke because it was the like you said, the carnival and everything?
Well, it's all going to vary on how this turns out.
Yeah.
Because, again, like you said, we've had nothing but good reviews about it being in October.
I've seen a few people complaining, but it's the usual people
what
that
you-
you're just like, dude, you just want to complain. Like that's all you you just want something to complain about. I'm like,
Yeah.
come out and support. How about you try to help? How about that? Like how about you try to come out and do something good for this? Because I don't see that happening. Those people that always complain, you never see them at these events ever.
I hate to say it, but yes, that's right. And again, when this started, it was at a different location, different time. The only time it's been in August is since back in 1935 when it was set here. But people don't realize the weather has changed.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with the 110-degree weather, your elders can't get out in that.
Yeah.
It's hard for them.
I mean, even think about like the dancers out there, like wearing their regalia. Like that's got to be blistering hot out there.
It is.
Think of those women in them buckskin dresses. Like, damn, like it's gotta be. They gotta be dying out there. So I imagine they're pretty. Everybody that's gonna be participating in the powwows too is gonna be kind of relieved that it's cooler weather.
Yeah, and again, that the evening time is different when the temperature drops.
Yeah.
But when you're trying to do things in the middle of the afternoon in 110-degree weather, I've seen these elders get hot and drop out and have to be rushed off, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I don't want nothing bad to happen to them. So we're going to see how this goes this year, and you just don't know. I mean, it's up to the next leader to decide that.
Yeah.
And you're going to have people that are going to be like, well, this has been in August for a long time. Yeah, but times change.
Yeah.
Things have to change. You have to think about the people as well.
And they like honestly, like you explaining that the zoo. I was looking at your little thing that said zoo over there, and I'm an idiot. But the carnival not being able to book, it's like, yeah, well, you could have had it in August, but we wouldn't have had a carnival. So like, what do you want? Because that's been the big complaint I've heard anyway. Of the past is like, there's no carnival.
Yeah.
So the powwows are cool and everything, but like it's like the carnival really brings people in.
Exactly.
And you might even get people going to the powwows more because there's a carnival there. So
Well, just the other day, last week, I had almost a dozen callers call me on my cell phone, saying what time is everything going to start next week? Are you guys having parades? As soon as I told them, they were like, oh, well then we need to come the day before everything starts so we can be there for all 4 days.
Yeah.
That's people over in Tulsa.
Yeah.
And we got people out of state that are vendors that are coming now.
Yeah.
I think the furthest one we have is from Washington State.
Wow.
As a vendor, because one of our vendors has a list. I told them if they have friends that want to partake and aren't busy, send them the application
sure.
and they can send it. And I had about 3 or 4 vendors call and say that they would like to see the information, and if they can make it, they'll send it in and let us know. So it's out there.
Nice.
People are calling, they're asking. And again, we're doing the best we can to accommodate them, let them know what's going on.
Yeah.
Again, we got, the evening program starting Wednesday evening. Of course, we're going to have the parade that day. And,
So there are going to be parades.
oh, yeah.
Okay.
The parades are going to be on the 30th, October 30th, and November 2nd.
Okay.
And I've reached out to... Well, I told our committee folks that, I'm inviting bands from these schools. A long time ago, they all used to partake in it.
Yeah.
So Anadarko, one of our directors, talked to the band teacher, and she's like, yes, we want to be in the parade. So I'm going to try to reach out to the Apaches, the Chickasha high school bands, the bands that are around the area, and invite them to come on out.
Yeah.
That's going to be something to see.
Yeah.
Hasn't been done for a long time.
Well, like I said, our fair is always a little bit different, you know, like even with like small town fairs, it's like, oh, that's the Chickasha fair. It's like Anadarko's, it was like, yeah, everybody comes. It's not just for Anadarko, you know, it's like, no, this is for everybody, you know. You come out, we have a little bit of everything for everybody, you know, like
that's right.
we have everybody participating, everybody's represented in the parade and everything. So but I'm just glad that we're gonna have this back this year, because like you see small towns around us, like Apache, they have the Rattlesnake Festival, and you know, Hinton does a fair every year. It's like, dude, if they can get rides, man, like we should be able to do that. Like we're a sizable community, you know, like we have a good sized community here, and I'm glad that it's you know, it's starting to awaken back to maybe, you know, something that it used to be, you know?
Yeah.
And not just to harp on like, oh, we should bring things to how they used to be. It's like, no, it's, you know, it's something that people enjoy, but we're also doing something new. It's in October, it's Halloween. Y'all are doing content like trick or treat or trunk or treat, and you're doing the costume contest. You know, I'm very stoked about it. Like I've been stoked about it from the day that I heard, you know, little rumors about it. I'm like, oh, there's gonna be a carnival, dude. It's coming back. Because like last year we got all stoked about it, and then you go out to the fairgrounds, it's like, oh well, it's, you know, it's cool, but
yes.
know.
Like I said, I went there.
I miss going out there and seeing tons of camp. I miss running around into different people's camps and saying what's up, you know, and like, you know, getting a piece of fry bread here and there, you know.
Yeah, because even like the camping part that you're talking about, that was one of the things that some of these elders mentioned, is that they used to have tribal camp. You know, Pawnee's here or Wichita's here or Sac and Fox here, and you just you don't have that. You had some camps, but nobody was there. You know, in the past when they put up camp, you camped. That meant you moved in, you stayed there all 4 days, even though you might live down the street. You were at camp. And
some of those elders really enjoy that, by the way. Like I've seen, like I've been like all the camps that I've ever been to, like the grandmas are hanging out, dude. They're there, you know, like they're chilling, dude.
Heck yeah.
They love that, you know?
Yeah, and some of them, they got a lot of grandkids.
Oh yeah.
You know, so they stay there so that they can watch them, so that, you know, those that are going to go dance or do something, you know, they're a part of it. So I'm trying to do the best I can. And again, like one of the other things we have is a book signing ceremony that's going to take place on October 30th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. over at the Southern Plains Indian Museum, and that's going to be about Indian City.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to be on about pictures and all the things that Indian City has done from the time it started to, you know, kind of what's going on.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that we have to look forward to. Again, we have that bow shoot. That's primitive and traditional. Bow shoot, that's usually on the lawn of the museum as well.
Nice.
The Southern Plains Museum. So I don't know if a lot of people know about that, but it's always been good.
Yeah.
You know, and then of course we'll have different things going on with our princesses. Like this year, the tribes will be, some of the tribes will be doing their presentations at the grounds.
Nice.
So it's not just going to be all powwow portion, but we're going to fit them in so that they have time to do their culture presentation.
That's awesome.
You know, and that's something that just hasn't happened in a while. So we kind of got that lined up and set up. So we're going to do the best we can with it. You know, it might go a little bit long, but it's going to be worth it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it's better to have it than not have it, you know?
Yeah.
But so what do you hope will happen for the fair in the future? Like, what's something that, I know you said that you might not be in office next year, but what's something that you would like to see happen with the fair in the future?
Well, I hope it keeps growing. I hope it gets bigger and bigger, because the next person that comes in, you know, they're already planning.
Yeah.
They're already getting ideas and reaching out. And that is being proactive already. Yeah. You know, so that's something he's got a mindset to as what he's aiming for already. And all I can do is encourage that person and say, hey, this is what I have from last year, so that you're not going to come in empty-handed.
Yeah, here's contacts, here's email addresses, that kind of thing.
Exactly, because I had to go through that this year. You know, it's like, well, I don't have this. Where is this? I don't have this. Where is this?
Yeah.
You know, why is it taking so long to get that? You know, and that is a big part of what you have to have if you're going to run something.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just go in there and say, well, I'm going to go try to figure this out and do. I mean, you should have a packet so that person comes in, or a flash pen drive to say, here's the spreadsheet for all the different things that were created. You know, that way they come in, take a look at it, they can sit down, go over it with everybody, and then start making a plan now. You know, again, I think the past president last year, he only had 4 months to plan anything.
Wow.
You know, and then this year, middle of March.
Yeah.
You know, and it's trying to get things together so that we can figure out which way we're going to go.
Well, especially with like things like that, it's like you figured like people would have things in place just because it's like it's bigger than just one person. It's like this is a community thing, and you know it should be. I mean, it's helping Anadarko's economy in the long run too. Like it's people always complain like, oh, Anadarko's this and Anadarko's that. It's like, yeah, but we can help make it better. Yeah. By doing by participating. You know, just showing up. You know, just go to the fair, spend like $10. Just come out. You know. Let your kid ride a couple rides, go home, whatever. So just come out and participate. Stop complaining on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of work that goes into it, and I mean, even like going to the city and asking them to, you know, see what they could help with.
Yeah,
you know, there's things that were overlooked last year, but that's where I stepped up to say, okay, those are going to be the first ones I hit to make sure we're on the same page. We work together. You know, they haven't had that in a while.
Yeah.
And finding out what these fees are that we have to pay, and learning that the fee you're paying is a reduced fee compared to the fees that they could charge you.
Yeah.
So we should be happy with what we kind of have right now. You know, because I wanted to see if I could get that reduced. And they're like, you're the first one to ask that. So let me explain to you how this is set up now, so you know that this is the reduced fee. So I was just like, wow, okay, so if I'm the first, that's saying something, because that means somebody missed that.
Yeah.
And didn't relay that back to folks. And that stuff I'll be doing at our next meeting, is saying, look, this is the fee we have to pay, and this is already reduced from this fee. So do we want to pay this fee, or do we want to pay this fee? It makes a big difference. You know?
Yeah.
So I hope that it grows from here. This is just a small step.
Yeah.
You know, in a direction that it may change come next year, because last year they competed in August with other events.
Yeah.
Every weekend it had a different event going on within the areas. So, you know, when they had the last one, they were competing with OIN, Oklahoma Indian Nation, up in Concho, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And those guys planned it out months in advance. So again, you had the expo going on at the same time as them. Then the following weekend is Wichita Annual, and then there's 2 more after that. So all
the Comanche
weekend,
Fair, and then it's just everything's right around then anyway.
Yeah, I mean, so then when can you fit it in? What are you going to compete with that's already pulling people in directions that you're going to have a lot of competition?
Well, see, that's why I thought the October date was cool too, is because it's like it's competing with less in the area.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing you're competing with is Halloween, you know? Like,
well, yeah. But this year, the Durant powwow's going on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Oh, okay.
But that's in Durant, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is the time we could have the fair. And you know, I got a lot of respect for the families that I do have over there that run Durant. You know, and I reached out and let them know, hey, look, you know, this is the only time we could have it. I'm not trying to pull away anything from you guys by any means, you know, but look, this is the only time we could do for our community and our surrounding areas, because not everybody can travel far and pay the kind of prices folks were paying last year for hotel rooms. You know, so
we're not a rich area for sure. So, yeah. So Anadarko needs one though. We need, you know,
Yeah.
we get little wins here and there. It's like, hey, we get a Thai food place. It's like, what's going to close down next? You know, it's like, you're always kind of, that's what I was telling him last week. I was like, every time something new opens, you're like, yes. And it's always cool to see it busy, but it's like that last like 3 months, you know, and then like people kind of lose interest. So that's why I've been telling people, just like, man, just participate, just show up, go to the carnivals, go to the parade, like show up to the fair and like really like let them know like this is an awesome thing. That way maybe, you know, people will see, oh, this was a success, maybe we should do the same thing next year, make it better next year. Yeah. So, you know, we don't want people to not show up and it just be a huge bust. So
yeah, I mean, you know, we're always looking for volunteers to come help when things start, because it's a lot of work for the staff that's there. You know?
Well, and you know, plus you got staff that's there that's working the powwows, staff that's there that's working the carnivals, staff that's there that's working ticket booths, that's working security, you know, all that good stuff. You know.
Oh yes, that's like I said, it's just having extra hands to be able to say, hey, I need runners to go do this for us, you know. So those of us aren't being pulled to go do that. You know, we can say, hey, I need you to go over here and work with this person. They're going to work solely on that, rather than me trying to run and do it, being pulled away from another event, you know. And like this year, you know, all the different things that we have going on, I'm hoping the executive board, you know, those of us that are in it are going to go and support each one. Yeah. You know, be there, even if it's for 15, 20 minutes to see and encourage and be a part of it. Yeah. That's what I'm hoping we get to do, you know, and then go to the bow shoot, be a part of it, show your support to who's running that.
Well, I mean, it's just like I was talking to somebody the other day about my kids doing chores, and they gripe about doing chores, but I always like to get in there and I'm like, no, I do dishes too, you know, like I do the laundry too and all that stuff. So I clean, I vacuum, I do all the same things you're doing, you know, but it's just trying to show them like, hey, I'm not just asking you to do this. I do this as well. It's part of, you know, how lead by example, you know?
Exactly. So
that's good to hear that you guys have that mindset, because, you know, sometimes people, well, they didn't even help do this. They just were bossing people around the whole time, you know? You know how people complain.
Yeah, I know they do. And, you know, we're going to do the best we can, because I don't like to boss people around. Yeah. But if I have to, I will. And they're going to get mad and upset. I'm sorry, but, you know, we have a job to do, all of us. And it's either work together or somebody's going to be mad and upset. Yeah. So
somebody's always going to be mad and upset, though. That's just how things are, you know, especially that the internet has given everybody a voice, you know, like you always see complaining online and everything. And that's why I said, like, man, like, stop complaining. Just come out and participate, you know, instead of complaining about every little thing.
Yeah, if you want to volunteer and help, go volunteer and help.
Yeah, exactly. Don't hey, how about you bring your ideas to the right people? You know, like something like that.
Yeah, it's been something, you know, and we're doing the best we can, and we're gonna move forward, and it will be successful. Yeah, you know, we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna push as hard as we can, work as hard as we can, because this is the time now. Yeah, you know, and people are looking forward to it. We got people coming from all over that are excited to be a part of this again.
Are people camping this year?
We're hoping so.
Really?
We've had quite a few families that called and asked about camping. We've even got people that are asking about RV stuff. So now I've got to figure about the RV, if that one RV out of town place is still available, or if we have an RV spot out there. So if people with RVs show up, we have a spot for them. So we got campers calling, we've got RV folks calling. So now that's just one more thing I need to look into to see. Okay, do we have that available in town? If so, where at? You know, I don't want to send them way out of town if we don't have to. You know, because I think we have one that's just right by
the Rivers Bend. I don't know if that's. I don't know. I have no idea. I've only been down there like once. Like as long as I've lived here, but. Yeah, and then like there's some at the park. I know that there's a few hookup. You know, not many. Yeah, but there's some down at the park. I don't know if there's any other RV spots around here. Now that I think about it. But
yeah, I mean, even the park's fun. Yeah, you know, you get to get right there by the water. It's nice and cool there in the mornings. You know, plus you're not that far from the expo.
Yeah.
You know, just mile two down the road, and then you're right there. You know, so. It's going to be something to see this year. You know, it may not be perfect, but it's going to be something that has changed. I hope the next crew that comes in really works hard, because it takes a lot of planning. You know, when you get done, you start usually that following month.
Yeah.
You know,
Just to get ready for the next one. It's like, all right, let's take about a week rest, and then we can.
Yeah. Do your pros and cons. What went good? What was bad? That way you can have that set for the next group that comes in to say, hey, here's what went good. Here's what went bad.
Yeah.
You know, that way they can start looking at that to say, okay, I know what I have to do.
So what's something that, like, you know, we talked about people participating, but what's something people can do, you know, just the community in Anadarko or in surrounding areas and people that are going to show up? What's something that people can do to help make sure this is a success, and what can they do to help support everything?
They can, you know, again, they can advertise. They can just tell people, hey, the fair is coming over for the American Indian Expo. You know, there's flyers. I try to put up as much flyers and drop off as many as I could wherever I went. Yeah. You know, like I said earlier, I've been all over. I've been down to Lawton. I went to Bucks and dropped some flyers off at Bucks and put them on their front counter.
Hell yeah.
I've been to different libraries. I wanted to get to their museum, which I still have time to do. But then I was in the city because I went and bought some more posters out of my own pocket. Mm-hmm. But, you know, that's what it takes, though. Yeah. Putting your own into something, that's good, too.
Well, especially if you care about it a lot, you know.
Exactly, and that's how I've been. And so I went up there, bought some. While I bought some, I went to different places in the city. Dean's Pawn Shop, up there in the city. I went to a couple of the libraries. Spots, I went to some of the libraries. I went to some of the folks that I know, gave them posters and flyers. Yeah. And I went to the Indian clinic that's up there in the city. Yeah, and asked them if they wouldn't mind dropping, you know, if I could put the posters up. And they said, sure, we'll take care of that for you. So they have posters. I drove out to CNA Country, dropped some off at the administration building. Nice. Asked others, hey, if you know where up that way to put posters and flyers, would you mind helping? And they're like, dude, we'll help you out.
That's awesome.
You know, and that's what you call good friendship, because they're willing to print them off and go put them up. And they're not going to say, well, what's it going to cost? You know, they're like, send them to me. Yeah. We'll get this out. We're going to make it happen. Right now, everybody from all over is like, dude, we're coming. Yeah. We're going to bring card loads. We're going to support what you guys are doing. That's good to hear,
honestly, because like I was a bit nervous about it just because like it's a different time of the year and everything, but I really want it to be a success because like I said, this town needs it, man. We really do. We really do.
Yeah, yeah. And again, it's a budget thing too. You know, they want to throw sponsorship, or they want to put some money into something, or they want to donate. You know, just walk up to the staff and say, hey, here you go. This is $5, $10, $20. That's up to you. You know.
Well, see, that's why we went ahead and bought an advertisement in the, I guess the magazine that's going to be going out. Yeah. We went ahead and bought an advertisement out of there. It's like, well, you know, to promote ourselves, honestly. But then, you know, it's like, well, that money goes into help the expo too. So, you know, we care about this community as well.
Yeah, but it sure does. You know, whatever people put into it, they're going to get something out of it. You know, and I mean that in a positive way. Yeah, yeah. You know, that what they're putting into this, they're going to get recognition. They're going to be talked about. They're going to see their stuff in the book, you know. Excuse me. And so we're about promoting. Yeah. You know.
Oh, I've noticed it. Yeah. I've definitely noticed it. Like I said, I went to Dollar Tree just yesterday, and I was like, oh, there's a flyer right there. That's cool. So they're everywhere. And then I've been seeing them posted online, and we've reposted everything that we could. And we've had a few board members, you know, just send us flyers and ask us if we can just post them from our page. And so that's what I've been doing. And, you know, it's just small little things that we can do to help promote it. And so if you're out there and you see those flyers posted on Facebook, you know, just repost it, save it, and post it from your own profile. It's free to do. It's easy to do. You know, if you really care about the Indian Expo coming back, then do that, you know?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like one of our vendors that we have, they have some kind of program where they have attached certain words to it. So when people type in a certain word, that advertisement pops up.
Oh, yeah.
And so they've got friends they've got that system set up all across the United States. So you can only imagine how far it's gotten. Yeah. You know, and I can't argue with that. That's advertisement. That's how the word gets out, you know, word of mouth as well. You know, you have to try. You never know till you try. Yeah. You know, and that's been my biggest thing. just getting out there and trying the best I could. It's like you said, I'm not there to boss people around.
Yeah.
I'm part of it. I'm going to do my part. Some people say, oh, he shouldn't be out there doing that, or he shouldn't. Why not? I mean, that's what a leader does. He gets out there and he is part of the event. He's out there trying to make a difference. He's helping you. Mm-hmm. It's not just me being lazy and, oh, well, you go do that.
Yeah.
Or you do that and be bossy. I'm out there. Like I said, I've been all over the state as far as I
Sounds
could.
like you've been everywhere. Like
Pretty much. Yeah.
Getting the word of mouth out, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, people are like, oh, are you saving your receipts and this and that? And I'm like, for what?
Yeah.
This is what it takes if you really want something that bad.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. So I don't think about the money. I think about what I can do to make this better.
Yeah.
And that's what people are looking forward to, is this exposition.
Yeah, there's, like I said, there's been a lot of buzz, and it's nice. It's most, like I said, 99% of it has been positive, and
Good.
So we're going to be participating in it. We're gonna try to have a float for the parade and record from there, and then we'll try to participate in the trunk or treat as well.
Cool.
And then like I said, we'll be out there for sure, and we'll do a little bit of recording out there and here and there with. We've had an idea just to go out to the. Last year we were going to do it, and then it was like, oh, there's no carnival, there's nobody out there, so we can't. But we want to just get like mobile mics and go out there and talk to people and see how they're liking it and get their feedback on it and all that. So
that's awesome. I'm all for that. Because I would like to hear back from the folks that come to partake in it, good or bad. That's the only way you're going to grow.
Yeah.
Like I said, pros and cons. Mm-hmm. That's all part of it, to know exactly what's going on, what people think, and what we can improve on.
So are there any secrets that you can reveal about what's happening with the fair this year? Is there anything special planned that people don't know about yet?
Not really. We just, like I said, we've got our flyers here, the different things we got going on. I'm not keeping secrets from anybody.
Yeah.
The fair is the fair. All we can do is make it happen. We've got, like I said, we got trunk or treat, we got the masquerade, we've got our basic powwow event that will go on. The book signing, and the bow shoot.
All those flyers are available on your Facebook as well, right? Mm-hmm. It's the American Indian Exposition Facebook. Mm-hmm. So if you have any questions, you can just go search that on Facebook, and I think they've been posting every flyer that they can come up with. So, but yeah, like I said, it's all been pretty positive so far.
Good.
Do you have any favorite fair story? I know you said when you were younger you went a lot, but do you have any favorite memories from the fair?
Oh, it was everything, because back then it was those men that put it on. They worked hard. It was the carnival rides. It was getting to go see the animals.
Yeah.
Getting to see the dancing throughout the day, especially when they had a greyhound racing, they had horse racing, they had all those things that brought people in. Mm-hmm. We even talked about trying to have a rodeo as the opener. To do that on Tuesday, say, all right, here's the start of the expo.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of thought, well, that might be a little too much, to bring back and do, because of everything we had to get ready for that next day, the parade, getting up early, getting things lined up, I think this year, it's going to start about, lineup's going to start about maybe 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
So that it's going to be busy, but those are the things that I remember, that greyhound racing and then the horse racing.
I remember people talking about that, and they had the horse racing last year, and then man, that's some wild stuff to see. We went to Crow Fair this year, and man, I was watching those dudes. I was like, that takes some courage to do that, because man,
that Indian relay stuff up there, it's crazy. My wife is Crow, and I go up there to support her and her family, and they do exactly what those old folks used to do here.
Yeah.
They move in and they camp.
Yeah, no, we camped this year. We have family up there that invited us, and it was our first time going. And I was very impressed. Like, they were kind of telling us the history of the Crow Fair and how different family have different allotments, and they were there camp. That's why I said, I was like, there was old folks there that were just there from day one, you know. And it was impressive to see, especially like we went on the 5K, and you know, I didn't really get to see. So we were camped pretty close to the arbor. Like, it was, you know, they have that new arbor that, and it's huge, it's massive, it's beautiful. And so we didn't really get to see much of the camp. We kind of stayed, and then we went on that 5K, and you come out, and I was like, holy crap! Like, it's massive. This place is massive. There's so many teepees. There's so many people there camping. I'm like, no wonder I can't get cell phone service. I was like, everybody's here.
Yes, it's something to see, especially you know, when you go on that first day, because when they camp, they start that Sunday before.
Yeah.
And they start putting up camps, and when you're there early and you see it, and you're like, oh, well, there's not many people, something's going on. In the middle of the night, people are putting up camps. So the next morning you wake up, you're like, oh, when did that happen?
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot of camps. I mean, I think
because they get out there, they mow the grass on their own and everything. Like, they come out there and do all that.
And I think they have like anywhere between 2,500 to 3,500.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a lot. And
it's impressive.
Yeah, they work hard, and I know what that's like because I do that every year. You know, we have, what is it? We have 8 canvas tents. We have 4 teepees. We have 3 shades. I mean, we put them up.
Yeah.
It's tough. But the neat thing is that when they put their teepees up, they tell you their stories about their poles.
Oh, yeah.
Each pole is about an animal. And it's something to see. So I'm glad you guys got to go. So you got to see what the Indian relay stuff was like.
Yeah. See, Jess, she didn't want to miss out on that. So we went and headed over to the rodeo. You know, they have the rodeo and they have the relays. They have everything there, you know?
Yeah.
And we got to witness that, and it was impressive. Like the whole time we were there, I was just in awe of everything. You know, it was really cool to experience crow culture. I had never, you know, I've known some crows down here, but you know, getting up there and being among them and being on their res and, you know, hanging out with them the whole time, it was absolutely wonderful. It really was.
Yeah, there's some truly humble people there. You know, those folks really take care of their visitors.
Beautiful country too. Beautiful country. Absolutely wonderful. And you know, down here in Oklahoma, you know, you don't get to see, like, you know, for real mountains, and you go up there and you're like, okay,
that's a mountain.
Yeah, it's a mountain.
I think we just have hills.
Yeah, we have large hills, and we, you know, throw a mount on it. But but no, it was absolutely amazing. Like, they took care of us really, really well up there. We didn't want for anything, you know, and it was very. I want to go back, you know. Like, I told her, I was like, I want to go back next year.
Good.
And you know, when we were up there, I was like, man, you know, it'd be really cool if, like, we had something like this in Anadarko, like, you know, a huge arbor out there, you know, just for all that, and have the rodeo going at the same time, you know, and then, you know, have, you know, just the community that they had out there, how massive it was. I was like, you know, it felt like, you know, Anadarko used to do that, you know. It's like we not with that many teepees, obviously, but, like, you know, with the amount of people that are camping and everything, like it that's what we could do, you know.
Yes. And it can get back to it.
Yeah.
You know, it just takes time because not everybody has been focused on that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. If you're gonna do this event, you got to be open-minded to everything that used to be. Doesn't mean it will all be successful. Yeah. But you're never going to learn unless you try.
Yeah.
You know, and that hopefully we'll see how it goes.
I think y'all are trying really hard this year. Like, especially you're taking some chances, you know, like with a lot of things, and it's very impressive to see, and I'm wishing for the best for you guys, honestly.
Yeah. Same here. You know, all I can do is try, and you know, everybody's going to be busy. Yeah. You know, and again, like I said, I'm going to be involved with everything. You know, go and show my support. If they need a helping hand, I'll be there. Yeah. You know, not just say, oh, well, you go do that. I'm not going to take part in it. I'm going to go to, like I said, I'm going to try to be at every event. Nice. It'll be tiring, but that's what it takes. Yeah. You know, I know I'll sleep good at night when I get there.
Might not be for a long time, but
that's right.
For the few hours, you'll be crashed out, huh?
That's right. You know, so we you know, it includes picking up trash. Yeah. You know, walking around, checking on the vendors, you know, checking on the campers, you know, just seeing and making sure everybody's good, you know.
And see, people appreciate those small gestures too.
Exactly.
Especially those elders. They really like, hey, you doing all right? You need anything? Like, even if they don't need anything, they're going to remember that you asked them that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, you know, that's all what comes along with it. It's not a one-man band game. You know, it's all of us.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do the best I can. And then again, like I said, the next gentleman that's going to come in, at least he'll have something when we get done.
Yeah.
To say, here you go, take a look at it. Maybe there's something you can change and tweak and run with it.
Yeah.
You know, so we're going to do our best. That's all I can ask for.
Nice.
Everybody to do their part and be successful.
Do you have anything, man?
No.
He generally lets me handle all the serious interviews and everything.
Oh, good.
One more time before we let you go here, because we've been talking for about almost an hour now.
Dang.
Yeah, it goes by quick, huh?
Yeah, it does. It didn't only seem like 30 minutes.
Yeah. Do you want to go ahead and promote the dates and some of the big happenings happening around, just to get the word out there one more time?
Sure. Again, like I said, the parade's going to be October 30th. That's going to start at 10 a.m. Lineup will be anywhere between 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then on November 2nd, same thing, you know, anywhere between 8:30, 9 o'clock. The parade will start at 10 a.m. on November 2nd, you know, so we're going to be busy with that. We're going to have our bow shoot, primitive and traditional. Registration is going to start at 8 a.m., between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. And then they're going to have 7 rounds. They're going to, you know, kind of elimination round. So if you make it to that round, you go on to the next. You make it to that, you go on to the next.
That's Saturday, right? November 2nd?
Yes, November 2nd.
Okay.
So that will be at the Southern Plains Indian Museum. That'll be right there on that front lawn, the one that has all the open space. So again, on October 30th, we're going to have that book signing on Indian City, USA. And that's going to be from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at the Southern Plains Indian Museum as well.
Nice.
So we have that going on. Of course, we're going to have our nightly programs from October 30th, 31st, November 1, November 2nd for all the tribal exhibitions each day. Then our dancing in the evening time for the contest portion. We'll have the Fort Sill Apache War Dancers.
Oh, nice.
You know, nightly performances. So we're going to have all that. We're going to have our masquerade costume contest October 31st out at the grounds. We're also going to have our trunk or treat October 31st between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. Be right there by the behind the grandstands. So, you know, you got your kids, bring them on out, you know, and basically that's it. We got quite a bit. We're going to have a beautiful baby contest. We're still working some things out on that as to where we're going to have it, but that's coming as well. That was a good success last year. I got to help partake in that, and man, families came from everywhere to bring their little ones.
Doing that. Yeah, that's always a big hit.
And they dress them up. You know, this is their spotlights. You know, for these kids that we want to see. We want to see them decked out in their stuff. You know, so traditional stuff. You know, they're, you know, come do it. It's going to be fun. You know, I believe we're going to have I think we're still working on some things with the softball tournament. I think that's something we're trying to get back as well. There were some other things we wanted, but again, it's sponsorship to be able to do it. Yeah. You know, we still got a few more weeks to go. Hopefully we got a few more tribes that are willing to put money into it. And if that grows even more, then we can do that. Even if it's just a couple flyers in the next few days or next week, there's still time to get it out.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're trying to do the best we can, but
working right down to the wire.
You betcha, man. Working right down to the wire. You know, like I said, I don't like to put things out last minute, but sometimes it happens. You know, but as much as we could get out in the time that we did, that's what I wanted, is to be able to get that out. So even if it was the save the date type thing, that way people knew it was coming. Yeah. You know, they could say, oh, well, this is coming. Let's wait. Let's see what happens, you know, and then boom, here we are. Everything's out. You know? And, you know, utilizing social media has been a big thing for you guys too. It's just, you know, that's the thing now, you know, that's how you get the word out, you know,
to everybody now. So,
Oh, yeah.
but I mean, still handing out flyers to businesses and everything, that helps too. So, it's like I said, you guys have done a good job so far, and I'm stoked to see what happens with the fair this year.
Yep.
I'm stoked that there's going to be a carnival. You guys have a lot of the old school stuff going on. I like that. So, I'm definitely for that.
Awesome.
I'm excited. I hope everybody else is excited. We appreciate everything you guys have been doing, especially because it's better for our community.
Yep.
Anything that can make our community a little bit better, I'm all for.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then even like on the 19th, even like the city, as soon as we gave the dates as to when we could do it, the city moved that flight and kite thing.
Oh yeah.
Their weekend was the weekend that we're at.
Okay.
So they bumped it back to the 19th.
Oh, good.
So
good.
next Saturday or whenever the 19th is, that's when they're going to have the kite and flights over here at the airport. And so I told them, well, we'll be there to help.
Yeah.
For those of us that are willing to help, because they were kind enough to move that.
Yeah.
That's working with.
Well, that's so. I mean, that's a double win for them too. Like it's like you won't have a competing event going on that same weekend, and you don't have to split it. It's like, why split it when everybody can benefit?
That's right. And see, that's just working with them.
Yeah.
They were willing to work with us like that. Okay, we're going to move that so you can have that weekend.
Good.
So I told them the other day that, hey, I'll be there. You need an extra hand? I'm going to come support you because you were willing to work with us.
That's cool.
So, if my other staff decides to come out, fine. If not, I'll be there.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
it'll be fun.
Nice. Well, hey, man, we appreciate you taking the time out of your Sunday morning. I know it's kind of early, but we appreciate it.
That's all right.
Sometimes people aren't always willing to come in on a Sunday morning, so we'll have to move it around. But I appreciate you coming in and talking to us, and
Sure.
all the hard work you guys have been putting in.
Oh, yeah.
Not just you, but the whole board and everybody involved. So, but yeah, we appreciate you taking the time out and coming talking to us, and it's been a real treat. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Well, we both have kids, so it's like it's cool.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna be able to go and take them, and be like, "Hey, this is how it used to be, man. Like this is kind of cool." So
Yeah, good. Yeah, I'm excited, and I'm glad that we were able to catch up with you all and get on here and do a little talk chat. I got to do a little talk chat with Coy McLemore yesterday.
Oh yeah,
on the Indian for Indians radio program.
Oh, okay,
in the morning
nice.
time.
Yeah,
so, I think then we're going to be up at Black Leggings next weekend too.
Yeah.
So he's going to do the program from up there live. So we're going to be up there doing kind of like what
nice.
you guys
I will probably be at Black Leggings too. Not with the podcast, but just as a.
You know what? That's fine. And you never know till you try. Like I said, maybe talk to Tugger Palmer or Blas Presidio.
Yeah.
Maybe you can do a live podcast from there.
Well, I don't know, but we'll see. Dixon invited us up, to come and eat with them and all that. So, and last year was my, I've lived here for all my life, and I've never been to Black Leggings before, so it was cool getting to go last year. And getting to experience that. For the first time was really awesome. Getting to be in Indian City, even though it's just right there, it was cool. I haven't been up there in quite a while, so.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
Sure. Thanks for having me on.
This will be out tomorrow with as long as Brandon's not stuck out on the lake right now. So it's our editor. This morning he went out. He likes to go out and fish, and he'll camp in his boat.
Okay.
And his motor died in the middle of the lake, and so. He was texting the group chat this morning. I was like, "Good luck, dude."
Oh my!
But yeah. So we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Back Home Media.